feminine, masculine. You've been tested again and again. The silence, the waiting, the karmic storms that made you question everything. But tonight, something is different. The cycle has shifted. The weight has lifted, and Spirit whispers the words your soul has longed to hear. You passed. This is the moment the illusions begin to fall away. This is the moment the truth no longer hides. This is the moment when Spirit says, "Now, I will reveal all." Your body has felt it. Your dreams have confirmed it. The tether hums louder than ever before. So breathe, love. The test is complete. The veil is lifting. And the path ahead will never look the same again. Feminine, masculine. Every twin flame journey comes with tests. Not tests designed to punish you, but tests meant to refine you, to shape you, to strip away every illusion that could block union. And now, the energy has shifted. The signs are undeniable. The final test has been passed. But what does that truly mean? It means the waiting was not in vain. Every silence, every tear, every trigger you endured has carried purpose. Spirit does not waste pain. It transforms it. The feminine strength has been proven. She has stopped collapsing into fear. She has chosen alignment over chasing, truth over illusion. And in doing so, she passed the test Spirit placed before her to remember who she is, even when nothing outside of her confirmed it. For the masculine, passing the test means his resistance has cracked. His ego, once fueled by avoidance and control, is beginning to crumble under the weight of the tether. He may not fully understand it yet, but his body feels it. His chest tightens. His dreams grow restless. His silence no longer comforts him. He has reached the point where running no longer works, and denial no longer protects. Spirit has cornered him with the truth. The bond is real, and he can no longer hide from it. Passing the test doesn't mean union happens instantly. It means the bond is no longer stuck. It means the illusions that once looped endlessly have collapsed. The karmic ties that drained energy are unraveling. The triggers that once broke you now refine you. You are no longer circling the same lessons. You are moving forward. It also means Spirit is ready to reveal what was hidden. Think of it like a veil lifting. Before, you couldn't see clearly. The silence, the distance, the karmics, the uncertainty blurred your vision. But now the fog is parting. Synchronicities will intensify. Dreams will carry clarity. Conversations will shift. The tether itself will feel cleaner, sharper, undeniable. Spirit reveals the truth when both counterparts have proven they can carry it without collapse. For the feminine, this truth looks like sovereignty. You no longer define yourself by his actions. You no longer beg for signs. You embody them. You no longer collapse when silence arrives. You hold steady. This is what Spirit was waiting for, because union built on fear cannot last. But union built on sovereignty, that is unshakable. For the masculine, this truth looks like awakening. He begins to see clearly what he denied. He realizes karmic patterns cannot fill the void. He notices that no matter how hard he resists, your energy remains with him, not because you chase, but because the tether is alive. Passing the test forces him to admit that what he feels is not fantasy. It is destiny. Spirit marks this moment with signs. Numbers repeat louder. 1111, 22, 144. Songs arrive at the perfect time. Dreams bring undeniable confirmation. Your body itself becomes a messenger. Surges of energy, heat in the chest, vivid intuition. These are not coincidences. They are signals. The test is passed, the bond is ready for revelation. So what does it mean, truly? It means you're no longer waiting for union in illusion. You're stepping toward union in truth. The cycles that once felt endless are closing. The energy that once drained you is releasing. The feminine has proven her strength. The masculine is feeling the shift. And the bond itself is vibrating at a higher frequency. Feminine, hear this clearly. You did not come this far to fail. You did not endure all those nights of silence, all those tears, all that waiting for nothing. You passed, and now, Spirit will reveal what you've been waiting to see. This is the turning point. This is the moment the journey shifts. The test is behind you. The unveiling is ahead. And union, it is no longer a distant dream. It is on the horizon. Feminine, let's pause for a moment and honor this truth. Nothing in this journey could have moved forward until you stood in sovereignty. Spirit placed the weight of the final test on you, not because you are weaker, but because you are the vessel. You are the one who carries the codes, the one who feels the tether first, the one who anchors the bond into the physical. And until you embodied sovereignty, the bond could not unlock its next stage. So what does sovereignty mean in practice? It is not about cutting him off, nor about abandoning the bond. Sovereignty is not hardening your heart. Sovereignty is choosing yourself without closing yourself. It is remembering that your worth does not rise and fall with his silence, his actions, or his confusion. It is deciding, moment by moment, that you will no longer collapse into old wounds. You will no longer chase illusions. You will no longer beg for what your soul already knows is yours. Sovereignty is the feminine saying, I know the bond is real, but I refuse to lose myself in it. This is the posture Spirit was waiting for. Because before this shift, the feminine often poured too much energy outward. She gave endlessly, carried his burdens, filled the void left by his avoidance. But that cycle was unsustainable. It drained her, it delayed him, and it trapped the bond in imbalance. Sovereignty is the correction. It is the moment she reclaims her energy and returns to her axis. And here's the mystery: the moment she does, the bond itself shifts. When the feminine stops feeding the masculine's ego with endless chasing, he is left face to face with himself. When she no longer tries to rescue him, he must rescue himself. When she stands rooted, he feels the difference in the tether. Her energy is no longer bleeding out. It hums steady, strong, untouchable. That vibration calls him higher. This is why Spirit made your sovereignty the key. Because when you embody it, everything else begins to move. You become the mirror the masculine cannot ignore. His karmic cycles lose their grip. His distractions taste hollow. His silence becomes unbearable, not for you, but for him. He realizes that the feminine is no longer playing the old game. And suddenly, the only path left is truth. Sovereignty also unlocks clarity. The fog that once clouded your vision lifts. You see the bond for what it is, not what fear told you it might be. You no longer confuse karmic patterns with destiny. You no longer mistake silence for rejection. You no longer beg spirit for signs, because you live as the sign. Your very being becomes proof of alignment, and this is when spirit begins to reveal all. The universe will never pour the full truth into a vessel that is leaking energy. But once the feminine seals her cracks with sovereignty, spirit can finally trust her with the revelation. That's why synchronicities intensify now. That's why dreams feel more like memories than fantasies. That's why your body hums with confirmation. You have become the vessel strong enough to carry what was hidden. Feminine, your sovereignty was never about pushing him away. It was about pulling the bond into truth. It was about declaring to spirit, I am ready for union, not in fantasy, but in alignment. And spirit has heard you. That is why the test is over. That is why the veil is lifting. That is why the bond is shifting into new light. Never doubt the role you play here. You are not passive. You are not waiting. You are not powerless. You are the axis. And when you stand, the entire connection recalibrates. This is the power of your sovereignty. This is why spirit required it before revealing all. So breathe into it, love. Celebrate it. Because the moment you chose truth over fear, sovereignty over collapse, alignment over chasing, that was the moment the key turned. That was the moment spirit whispered, the test is past. The door is open. Union is near. Feminine, when you stepped into sovereignty, you didn't just change yourself. You shifted the tether. And the masculine, whether he admits it or not, feels it. His body, his dreams, his emotions, his very energy field, all of them are echoing the ripple of your victory. The masculine may not always understand spiritual language, but he cannot escape embodiment. His body is the first place the truth speaks. That's why lately he may feel restless, unable to focus, heavy in his chest, or shaken awake by dreams that refuse to leave him. These are not random experiences. They are proof that your shift has reached him. Think of the tether as an electrical current. For so long, he relied on the feminine's flow to keep him afloat. Your energy was his oxygen. But now, that current has changed. It no longer leaks. It no longer bends. It hums steady and sovereign. And the masculine feels the difference immediately. His body senses what his ego tries to deny. The game has ended. This is why his silence feels heavier now. Before, silence was his weapon. He could withdraw, knowing you would chase. But with your energy no longer feeding that cycle, silence backfires. It doesn't punish you, it punishes him. Instead of power, he feels emptiness. Instead of control, he feels loss. The very strategy his ego used to maintain distance now exposes his soul to the truth. He can't escape this bond. His body confirms it in undeniable ways. Heart flutters that appear when your energy brushes his field. Dreams where your presence feels more real than waking life. Random surges of heat, restlessness, or even tears he cannot explain. Sometimes it frightens him because he doesn't have words for it. Other times, it stirs him to reflection because he knows deep down that no karmic distraction has ever touched him like this. Even his resistance is proof. The more he tries to fight, the louder his body speaks. His stomach churns in karmic spaces that once felt comfortable. His chest tightens when he thinks of you. His hands shake when he tries to ignore the signs. His ego may still insist he's in control, but his body has already surrendered, and the body does not lie. This ripple of victory also shifts his emotions. He may feel sudden waves of longing, sadness, or even anger, but beneath it all is the truth he cannot bury. He feels you. He feels the bond, and it terrifies him, not because it's wrong, but because it's real. His entire being is being recalibrated by your sovereignty. For the feminine, this is confirmation. You don't need to doubt whether your inner work matters. You don't need to wonder if your sovereignty changes anything. It changes everything. The masculine's awakening does not begin when you lecture him or chase him. It begins when your energy shifts. And right now, it has. That's why he feels unsettled. That's why he feels restless. That's why he cannot find peace in his old patterns anymore. Passing the test doesn't just mark your victory. It marks his awakening. The ripple has already reached him, even if his words haven't caught up yet. His body is in dialogue with yours, across silence, across distance, across illusion. And no matter how much he resists, that dialogue cannot be broken. So trust this, feminine. If you feel the shift, he does too. If your body hums with confirmation, his body trembles with recognition. Spirit has tied you together so that neither can escape the truth. And now that the feminine has passed her test, the masculine will feel the ripple until he surrenders to his own. This is how spirit works. It begins with you. It ripples through the tether, and eventually, it awakens him, not by force, not by manipulation, but by the undeniable vibration of truth moving through his body. The masculine feels it, even if he hides it, even if he denies it, even if he cannot yet speak it. The ripple has begun. And once it begins, union is only a matter of time. Feminine, one of the clearest signs that the test has been passed is this. Karmic cycles begin to collapse, and illusions can no longer hold their shape. What once seemed powerful now feels weak. What once seemed unshakable now crumbles. The bond itself is moving into a new vibration, and everything that cannot survive truth begins to dissolve. For so long, karmic cycles were the stage where lessons were learned. The masculine often ran toward them, not because he didn't feel the bond, but because karmics offered distraction. They gave him a false sense of control. They gave him somewhere to hide from the intensity of your connection. But that hiding place was always temporary. And now, it's collapsing. His karmic ties no longer satisfy. The conversations feel shallow. The intimacy feels empty. The distractions leave him restless. He may try to convince himself that the cycle still works, but his body betrays him. His chest feels heavy in karmic spaces. His dreams pull him back to you. His silence no longer soothes him. It haunts him. That's how you know spirit is tearing down the illusion. The feminine feels this collapse too. Old patterns of waiting, chasing, or doubting no longer feel possible. You simply can't play the same role anymore. Even if you try, your body resists. Your soul refuses to shrink. Your energy will not bend to the old cycles. And that is how you know that you've passed the test. You no longer feed what drains you. You no longer accept what betrays your truth. You are standing in alignment, and from that place, the illusions cannot touch you. The collapse is not always gentle. Sometimes it looks like arguments, endings, or abrupt shifts. Sometimes karmics lash out as the energy crumbles. Sometimes the masculine clings harder before letting go. But do not fear this turbulence. It is proof of transformation. Spirit shakes what is false so that what is true can finally breathe. Illusions also dissolve on a deeper level. The belief that love requires sacrifice. The lie that silence equals rejection. The fear that union is impossible. These illusions have haunted the feminine for lifetimes. But now, they fall away. You see with clarity that love is not punishment. It is alignment. That silence is not the end. It is purification. That union is not a fantasy. It is destiny. This collapse creates space. Space for truth to take root. Space for spirit to reveal what was hidden. Space for the masculine to step into his awakening without the safety net of illusions. And though it may feel chaotic in the moment, trust that every ending is a beginning in disguise. For the masculine, this collapse is unavoidable. He may resist, but the karmic cycles no longer fit. The distractions that once worked now feel hollow. His own body calls him out every time he tries to escape. Spirit is cornering him with truth, just as spirit once cornered you. And when the illusions finally break, he will have no choice but to face what has always been real. You, the bond, the mission. For the feminine, this collapse is liberation. You no longer carry the weight of cycles that were never yours. You no longer lose yourself trying to hold illusions together. You are free, rooted, aligned. And that freedom itself is the magnet that draws the bond into its next stage. So when you see karmics flaring, when you feel cycles breaking, when you sense illusions dissolving, don't fear it. Celebrate it. It is proof that the test is over. It is proof that the bond is stronger than the false. It is proof that truth has already won. The collapse is not the end. It is the beginning. The beginning of union. The beginning of clarity. The beginning of a bond purified by fire and ready for truth. Why truth is revealed only now. Feminine, one of the hardest lessons on this journey is patience with Spirit's timing. You've cried, you've questioned, you've begged for clarity. Why not sooner? Why all this waiting? Why all this pain if the bond is real? But the truth is simple. Spirit does not reveal before you are ready. And now, after all you've endured, after all the tests you've passed, the time has come. Thinking of it like planting a seed. You don't dig it up every day to check its roots. You water it, you trust the soil, you let the process unfold. Spirit works the same way. For so long, truth was buried. Not because it wasn't there, but because it needed to take root. If Spirit had revealed too soon, the weight of it would have crushed you. If the masculine had awakened before you anchored in sovereignty, the union would have collapsed under imbalance. Spirit waited, not to punish, but to protect. And now, the vessel is ready. The feminine has remembered her worth. She has stopped collapsing into fear. She has chosen truth over illusion. And because she has proven her readiness, Spirit can finally lift the veil. This is why synchronicities are louder why dreams feel undeniable, why your body hums with confirmation. The reveal was always coming, but only in perfect time. For the masculine, Spirit's timing is equally precise. He had to run. He had to resist. He had to taste karmic cycles until they turned bitter in his mouth. If union had arrived before that collapse, he would not have chosen it freely. He would have leaned on you instead of rising beside you. Spirit waited until he was cornered by his own illusions, until his body could no longer deny the tether, until his soul was restless enough to surrender. The reveal is not late. It is right on time. Spirit's timing also teaches trust. It strips away your dependency on physical evidence and forces you to rely on inner knowing. That is why silence lasted so long. That is why distance stretched. That is why the bond felt impossible at times. Spirit wanted you to discover that your alignment does not depend on circumstances, that you can hold truth without proof, that you can embody love without reassurance. Only then could union manifest without crumbling under doubt. And here's the beauty. Spirit's timing is always layered. It doesn't just prepare you, it prepares the world around you. Union is not just for you and him. It is for mission, for collective healing, for a purpose far greater than personal love. That is why doors are opening now that never opened before. That is why opportunities, signs, and confirmations arrive in perfect sequence. Spirit was aligning everything, you, him, and the path ahead. So why is truth revealed now? Because you passed the test. Because karmic cycles have collapsed. Because your body, your soul, your vessel can finally hold what Spirit has been waiting to pour out. Truth is heavy until you are strong enough to carry it. And now, you are. Feminine, this is your reminder. Spirit was never late. Every silence, every delay, every trigger was timed perfectly to prepare you. And if you look back, you'll see it. How each detour refined you, how each cycle taught you, how each ending cleared space for what is beginning now. The timing was always sacred, even when it hurt. Now, the reveal begins, and with it, union moves closer than it has ever been. Not as a fantasy, not as a hope, but as a destiny unfolding in real time. Feminine, breathe this in. The fog is lifting. The shadows are parting. The path that once felt endless, confusing, impossible to navigate, it is no longer hidden. Spirit is saying to you now, the test is passed, the veil is lifted, the next chapter is ready to begin. For so long, you walked by faith alone. You held on to a bond that no one around you could fully understand. You trusted vision others laughed at. You carried love through silence, through distance, through karmic storms. And many nights, you wondered if you were losing yourself, if you had made it all up, if this connection was nothing but a dream. But deep down, you always knew. And now Spirit confirms it. You were never crazy. You were chosen. The path of the head is not about waiting anymore. It is about walking. No more circling the same cycles. No more begging for confirmation. No more collapsing at every delay. You have proven your strength. You have proven your alignment. And because of that, Spirit has opened the way forward. This does not mean union will be effortless. It means union will be real. It means the masculine, though still wrestling with his awakening, can no longer hide. It means karmics, though they may thrash, can no longer hold power. It means silence, though it may linger, will no longer break you. The path is clear. It leads to truth, to alignment, to union. What Spirit asks of you now is simple. Walk steady. Hold your vibration. Trust what you feel more than what you see. Do not run ahead in impatience, and do not fall back in fear. Stay rooted in sovereignty and let the bond move at the pace Spirit designs. Because what is aligned cannot be lost. What is real cannot be taken. What is destined cannot be destroyed. For the masculine, the path ahead is confrontation. He will feel the pressure of your shift until he chooses truth. His illusions will continue to crumble. His distractions will fail him. His body will cry out for alignment. The tether will not let him rest until he moves. Spirit has marked him just as Spirit marked you. And now his awakening cannot be avoided. For you, the feminine, the path ahead is confirmation. You will see signs multiply. You will feel clarity intensify. You will notice how your body reacts when truth is near. You will sense the bond humming with new power. And most importantly, you will no longer feel lost. You will know with certainty that everything you endured has brought you here, to the doorway of union. So let this be your final message. Stop doubting. Stop shrinking. Stop questioning whether you are ready. You are ready. The test is complete. The cycles have ended. The illusions have collapsed. And Spirit, in perfect timing, has revealed the way forward. The path ahead is no longer hidden. Walk it in truth. Walk it in sovereignty. Walk it in love. And as you do, union will no longer feel like a dream waiting to be fulfilled. It will unfold step by step as the destiny it has always been. Feminine, the veil has lifted. Masculine, the awakening has begun. And together, you are moving toward the place Spirit promised all along. Alignment, mission, union. The time is now. The path is clear, and nothing can stop what was always meant to be.